folder. I think that will be much better. So the code is not showing up. Okay, let me notify here. Okay. Okay. So let's start, Seven.
Yeah,
Without
sure.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Seven, first of
Uh-huh.
all, you
Uh-huh.
please download this Terraform. Okay,
Uh,
like in your free time.
yeah.
Mm, wait a second. And I hope you have the Visual Studio VS Code.
Yes,
If
I
not,
have. Yeah.
please download. Yeah,
Yeah,
download
I
it.
have that. Yeah, I have
Okay.
that.
So Terraform download, nothing you have to do. Just
Uh-huh.
it's a open source only. Okay.
Uh,
So just you have to go here.
uh,
Okay. Just click on that, and you can since we are doing everything on Windows. Okay. So you can just go ahead and download this AMD 64. Okay. Or that's it. Just download and just run it. Okay, it will run. And once you run it, okay, .exe file, it will get downloaded in the downloads folder. Just go ahead and click
One
enter.
question here.
Yeah,
Should I need to select AMD or 386?
go ahead with AMD 64.
AMD. Okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead with AMD 64, and you can just write sorry, small letter Terraform version. It will just show you the version.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So once you did do this, you have to go to Visual Studio Code. Just go to your plugins, extensions. Okay. So you have to write here Terraform. Okay. And the first one, HashiCorp Terraform with this official signature mark. Okay. You
Okay.
have to just go and install it. Okay. So once you do this, you will be able to use Terraform in your VS Code. So why I'm telling you to do in VS Code? Because VS Code can give you suggestions also. You don't have to type everything and it will be fast for you. So I'll just go ahead and just stop me wherever you will be facing difficulty. Okay.
Sure.
So since uh, I can go with very basics of Terraform, but the thing is like since you are mostly experienced and all, so I'll go ahead with use cases and all after giving a few basics because you will be able to catch up everything. Okay. So Terraform, it's an ISA tool. Okay. ISA tool like infrastructure as an infra as code tool, you can just type. So basically, it used to manage the infrastructure. Okay. So one question has been asked to me, like, why you are not uh, using Ansible when it is an old tool before Terraform. So the thing is like, why we are using Terraform? So Terraform is basically especially for infra management. Okay, and Ansible is basically the configuration and management
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
Both. Okay, so and the basic difference once it has been asked to me, so I just given the answer like that. So Terraform has a certain thing, called state files. Okay, state files. So what state files used to do? It used to capture whatever you are configuring. Okay, and that is missing in Ansible. Whatever you are configuring, let's take an example. I have created an EC2, okay, through Terraform, and again I am trying to create an EC2 with same name. So what uh, Terraform will say, this can't be created because with same name EC2 is already present. Okay. Now, how it is able to tell Terraform? So, as I told you, it's because of the state file concept. It's because Terraform is will point to the state files, and the state files it will see. Okay, my EC2 with the same name, suppose with the name of test, is already present, so I don't have to create one more. Okay, so that Terraform has done. But what will happen with Ansible? Suppose EC2 with name test, okay, is there. Again, I'm creating with same name. Oh, sorry, let me put my charger. Again, I will create with the same name. It will go ahead and create it because it doesn't have the state file concept where it will be able to see that whatever the configuration, the history of configurations will be maintained in this state file. Okay. So now, in one of the interview has been asked, so suppose your state file got deleted. Okay, then what will happen? So I have said like it will act exactly as the Ansible. Okay. Even Terraform will not be able to correlate that it has already created this infra. It will go ahead and create another EC2. Okay. So that's the basic difference. Okay. Terraform has a, or you can see, this is actually an example of idempotency also. Okay. Idempotency is a thing that is, suppose your software is already there. Again, you are trying to download the same software. So it will not get downloaded. It will just say like your software is already there. The package is already there. So this is the basics of Terraform. Okay. And I will not say much about the Terraform. And there is a Terraform registry. I will just show you. That will help you in 1 second. Do this. Okay. We go ahead. So if you just Terraform registry, this is one of the most beneficial thing that Terraform is giving very open source. Okay. So you can just go ahead with AWS provider. So here you can see the basics blocks of the Terraform. So I'll just go ahead. So the first thing, what we need to understand with Terraform is like once you install Terraform in your system or maybe in your organization, it will be in some server. Okay, the workings, the basics will be same. Just the systems will differ. Maybe right now you're working with a laptop, but maybe in the organization you may be working with some servers where your Terraform is installed. But the commands and everything will be the same. So Terraform, what is the first thing in Terraform is like what are the things we need to do in Terraform? So first thing is provider. Okay. Now what is provider? Provider is something on which you want to work. Okay. On which platform you can say you want to work. Some okay. I think one more person will join Saravanan.
Yeah, sure,
So
sure.
I
We will wait then. Yeah.
just yeah. I think he has joined. Let me go ahead and uh, hey, hi Tirupati. Hey, am I audible, Tirupati? You are in mute, I think.
Hello. Hey, hi. Rishabh, hi Shravan.
Hi.
Hey,
Sarvanan, right?
Hi,
hi
Tripati.
Tirupati. So Sarvanan, Tirupati is also working in Fold. Okay,
Oh,
mostly as an architect role. Okay,
oh, good.
so
Uh,
he is also holds same experience mostly as you and
oh,
working
okay.
as a manager there. And Sarvanan is working in Intel, and
Mhm.
Hi,
he is
Tripati.
also looking for the architect role and all. So that's why we have started this session. Okay, so we just started. That's fine. We can go ahead with. Okay, so we just started. So I think Tirupati, since you have worked on the architect role, the Terraform basics, you know. So the first thing we are starting from point number one, like from on where we are using Terraform. Okay, so Terraform. First of all, we have to see the provider block. Okay. In Terraform, everything is used to call blocks. Okay, so whenever I put something called blocks, you can understand like why I am saying blocks. Okay. So on which platform we are going to work? The first thing in Terraform, we'll see this. Okay. Now, what do you mean by platform? Platform can be of different kind. It can be a cloud native platform, whether it's AWS, GCP. Okay. It can be on-prem as well. That's the beauty of Terraform. It can handle on-prem as well. Okay. Suppose on-prem, I mean to say this, let's take a simple example called GitHub. But yeah, there are restrictions. It's not like every on-prem thing they can work with. There are restrictions. Suppose GitHub is there. There's so many things. Kubernetes is there. Okay. So that on-prem Kubernetes can also be scheduled here. Okay. So that's the beauty of Terraform. Okay. But mostly the major 99 or 90% of the world's thing, we are doing the Terraform on cloud native platforms. AWS, Azure, GCP, Open Cloud. Sorry, what is that? OCI. Okay. So, and the next thing in Terraform, once you provide the provider and all, next thing is authentication. Now, how Terraform will authenticate with your cloud platform? Okay. Cloud platform. So, suppose since we are working on AWS, let's take on AWS. Okay. So there are so many ways AWS has these credentials. Okay. Through credentials. Credentials, I mean to say access key, secret key, session token. Okay. This thing. And the next part is the implementation. Okay. Once you do all these things, authentication, now here comes the implementation part. Okay. So I will just go ahead with implementation like what we have to do. Okay. Next thing is like you have to write your Terraform files. And how it used to be a Terraform files? It used to be in HCL format. Okay. HashiCorp language format. Okay. HCL format. And the extension is .tf. Okay. So once you write your Terraform files, you have to implement it. Okay. So the first command is Terraform init. So init used to initialize your plugins. So once you install Terraform in your laptop or in your server, it will not run. It's like an exe file. Okay. So suppose if you have downloaded your exe file, you have to go ahead and click it, double click it, so that it will run in your application. So same. So it just download. You can consider the Terraform is just the package you have downloaded. But while implementing, you have to initialize them. Okay. Or you have to make them run. So this is the Terraform init initialize your plugins. What plugin? Terraform backend plugins. Okay. So you don't have to go and go deep into it, what Terraform is doing inside and all. Okay. That's it. It will throw error if your authentication is not correct. Okay. So many, suppose your configuration is not correct, it will throw error. Terraform, next is Terraform plan. Okay. Plan is like a dry run. Dry run, it will not implement, but it will show like implement, but it will show what it's going to create. Only create, no. What is going to destroy also it will say. Change also. Suppose you have made a EC2 with T2.micro and you are changing now to T2.small. You have done changes. Again, you have run Terraform plan. So it will just show the changes that T2.micro is going to change to T2.small. Okay. So that's the beauty. Next is the Terraform apply. There are so many other commands which we'll do while implementation. Okay. Terraform apply will go ahead and create the infra. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start. Okay. So, Saravanan, what you have to do if you have your AWS console, okay,
Uh-huh.
you have to go ahead and let me open my console. So, Saravanan, as I said, like Terraform have to authenticate to AWS. Okay, so you have to put as an environment variable to your terminal, or you can put in the Terraform itself also. Okay. So you have to create your credentials, that is the secret key and access key. So you have to go to security credentials. You have to go down and you have to click on the create access key and you have to copy the create access key and the secret key. So in my case, I have already downloaded. Okay. You can also download. Okay. Let me know if you face any issue. Okay. So I'll give everything in the documentation. Okay.
Sure,
How to
sure.
create it. So, and once you do this, so if you, how you have to do it, just you type AWS configure. You can see that these things are coming. Just put it, the access key and the secret key will come and you can do it. Okay. So now, once you do it, you have to open your Terraform, sorry, the VS Code. And once you download the extension, now we will write the first file. Okay. So since I told you, everything has to be .tf extension. If you put any other extension, Terraform will not be able to recognize. So let's put something called EC2.tf, the first configuration. Okay. So provider. Okay. So right now you can put provider like this also. What is our provider? AWS. Okay. And you have to provide the region. So if you see, that's why I told you to download the extension. It's showing it auto populating. If you don't download this extension, it will not auto populate. Okay. So region. So since I'll take the Mumbai region because that's in our India region. Okay. So south. In that way you can. But is this the ideal way to write the provider? Never. It's not the ideal way. So if anyone will ask you in the interview that write the provider block, it, it should not be like this. So how it should be? So let's go ahead. Okay. So better. I'll not copy paste. Let's put it like this. So I'll just comment it so that you can take it as a reference. So first thing you have to write is the Terraform. Okay. Next you have to write is the required providers. Okay. And so you don't have to remember all these syntaxes. Okay. Actually, no one will ask you. So you don't have to write. So one thing I think you have to put the source. Let me see. What was that? So I never used to remember all these things because no one will tell. Okay. Because the syntaxes are sometimes changing. Okay. So if you see AWS. and our provider is AWS. Source is HashiCorp AWS. I'll make you understand of this. So sometimes in interview they used to ask this like, what is the meaning of all these things? Version. So version, let me take it from here. Okay. Sorry, what is this? Okay. Six. And is the third providers. Now this is was the version. Just the Terraform version. Okay, let's leave it. It will take the latest version if we don't put. Otherwise, I have to see like what's the Terraform version right now. It's changing. So now the let's understand a bit. So not much important, but sometimes they used to ask. So first of all, what's the provider? Our provider is AWS. If it is Azure, you have to write Azure. Now the source is HashiCorp AWS. Why I have taken this HashiCorp AWS? Because if you see the provider block, okay, who is giving this provider? That's the HashiCorp itself is giving this provider, no one else. So if you just go ahead, if you see this source code, it's HashiCorp only. Okay. So in sometimes it happens, right? If you go to GitHub or some other templates, the source is not HashiCorp. There is some other source. HashiCorp is integrating with that source. Okay. But in our case, we have given the HashiCorp only is providing. So what is HashiCorp? HashiCorp is a company that is giving us the privilege of using Terraform. Okay. And Terraform AWS provider. Don't think like it is providing AWS. It is just providing AWS provider. Okay, provider. And what is the provider version? Provider version is this 6.0. So this sign, it means like it can take any version 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.3. If you want to make it mandate, you don't have to go ahead. Okay. If you want to put it like greater than, so you can put greater than or equal to. So I have put like this because it can take whatever the latest version, mostly it will take that 6.0, 6.2. Okay. And now I have put one more version, that is the required version here, right? So this I'm not putting it because I have to check like what is the exact version, or if we don't put it, it will take the latest version. That's what I want. Okay. But in organization, this version is also fixed. Okay. It's like 0.12, like that. Okay. Because Terraform has a problem. In certain versions, if you see the earlier versions, some of the blocks will not work properly. Okay. Now I have given equal to here. Some in the my earlier versions, the equal to will not work. Okay. So that's why in organization mostly they used to fix the version also. So whenever they want to upgrade, they used to keep a maintenance window and used to upgrade so that our configuration will not break in any part only because of the version changes. Okay. So that's one of the things. Okay. I am not putting version. And what is the difference between this version and this version? So if you see, this is the provider, this is the AWS provider version. And what this is the Terraform version. Just remember that this is the provider version, this is Terraform. Whatever the Terraform tool you are using. So if you see my version, what was my version? So V 1.5.5. You can put that also. Like directly, you can just go ahead and put that. Hey, Sarvanan, I have told you to download in ADM 6, but you don't download in ADM. You download in 386. Okay.
Okay, not AMD
Yeah,
386, right?
not AMD.
Okay,
Actually, in
okay.
my earlier laptop, it was AMD, but now
Oh,
it's
okay, fine. Okay. I'll
386.
change my steps, yeah.
Yes, just remember that term.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll give everything in the documentation. So you can give like this, okay? Either you give or it will take automatically. Okay. Sometimes in interview they used to ask like, what is the Terraform version you are using? So better you remember that. Okay. Anyways, that's not a criteria for rejecting you, but sometimes the people used to think like, if you are using Terraform for such a long time, then at least the version you should know. Okay. So, but just remember and memorize the version of the provider and required version. Okay. So
Okay.
right now, what I'm doing, let's put it in commented. So comment you can do shift and the hash sign. You can just go ahead. So let me save it. Now we'll write the EC2 configuration file. So EC2 configuration file will start from resource. Okay. So how I have given this, oh sorry, how I have given this. So suppose resource, just type RD and it will come. Okay, resource, open that. And if you just type AWS colon INST, so instance it just came. Okay. So this is mandatory. While whenever you are creating instance, this is mandatory. Okay. So this is the resource type you are defining. Okay. Suppose you are creating S3, so you have to create AWS. Sorry, AWS. I think S3 or something. S3 bucket. Okay. So you are able to understand. This is the resource type. Whatever resource type you are creating, you have to put it here. Okay. And this is like fixed. You can't change like AWS instance or AWS server. Okay. You have to put AWS instance. If it is AWS instance, you have to put AWS instance. Okay.
Those are
Or
all keywords, right? Reserved keywords. The AWS
yeah,
instance. Those.
reserved keywords these are. Okay, you can consider. And these are fixed. You cannot change it. Okay. If it is S3 bucket, you cannot put it like S3 only. Okay. You have to put S3 bucket. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. AWS instance. Okay. So and this is the logical name. Okay. So this you can change according to your benefit. Okay. So let me put it demo EC2. This you can change. Okay. This is dynamic. Okay. Next is there are some mandatory parameters in EC2 or any resource type that you have to put. Optional parameters you can add, but mandatory parameters you have to be there. Otherwise, your resource will not get created. And how we'll check the mandatory thing? You can just go ahead and if you just write EC2, okay, here, sorry, what I'm typing, Terraform EC2. Yeah, so if you see here, okay, argument reference, okay. So this is the argument reference. If you see, region is optional, AMI is optional, okay, and then availability zone is optional, okay. These are the optional arguments that you have to give. Okay, you can give even if you don't give. Okay, it will run ahead, go ahead and run your application. Okay, so you can see the optional things here and the mandatory things mostly. Yeah, so if you see, these are the mostly the mandatory things you have to give it. Okay, but this is also not mandatory. Okay, uh, you can check it somewhere. Okay, maybe I'll let you know. I don't used to go through the documentation once, but from your intellect also you should decide like what are the mandatory things. Okay, it's not like every time you have to go here and change. Okay. So suppose if I'm creating EC2, what is the mandatory thing that is used to be created? So if you have read about in AWS, any server, whether it's Azure, whether it's GCP, or whether it's AWS, any server cannot be created without an image. Okay, whether that's AMI, whether that's image or something it's called in other cloud platforms. So AMI is one of the mandatory things that you have to give. Okay. So EC2 cannot be created without the instance type. Until unless you describe the instance type, it will not be created. So I'm putting a st2.micro. Okay. So if you put this, will it create? Yes, it will create because you don't have to create other things much. Okay. So region you want to create. So if you see region is not there at all. Okay. So if I don't put region, where it will go ahead and create it. So by default, it will create in the US East one. Okay. So that's the default region you are creating. So region where you can give it. Okay. I think region you can give it here or somewhere. Yeah, here you can give it. So I am giving also US East one. Okay. Here also, I think here or here somewhere. I'm missing it. Or let's give it AP South one. Let's change the region. Okay. So AMI. So AMI ID, let's grab it from the console. Okay. So let's grab it from the console. And if I go to so if you suppose if you are using AP South one, okay. Suppose if you are using AP South one, you go ahead and take an AMI from US East one. Will it work? No, it will not work. It's region specific. Okay. So these are the things that can be asked in the interviews, and sometimes even if we have done a lot of interviews, we'll not be able to understand sometimes. Okay. So if we go, let's take this AMI. This is the Linux AMI ID, and if you want to just search AMIs, you can just go ahead with the AMIs. So we are using the public AMIs. Just go ahead in public images, and you can just search for Linux. Okay, any AMI IDs. So you can take any of the AMI IDs, whatever is feasible for you. So I have taken this AMI ID, Elastic AMI ID, anything you can just take it. Okay, that's not something. And if you have so much problem that if you want to choose AMI, just go ahead launch instance. Okay, and if you just go down, there is a default AMI which is present. You can just uh, take a note of this AMI ID. Okay, so that's the AMI which you can use it. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay, let me go ahead and create it. So I'll not run it. Okay, right now I'll just go to terminal. Okay. So the first command, as I told you, to initialize the plugins. Okay, Terraform. Let's see. So invalid configuration. If you see, it is said that EC2.tf in line 11. I have put an invalid configuration, so region cannot be put in. So that's the beauty of the Terraform, that it will show you if any configuration changes is there in here. So let me put it here. Let's see. So again, it's a wrong. Okay. So okay, let me just remove it, and I have to see like where I think it will be around here. Okay. So it's directly showing the difference, like it cannot create a region. Okay. So region somewhere we have to put it. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I will let you know. Maybe it will be confusing. Okay. So this is the thing, or we can check in the provider, like where you can put the region, because region is something that you have to put it. Okay. Without region, suppose your region is somewhere else, and if you are not putting region, it will go ahead and uh, deploy in the US based regions. That's not good. Yeah, so this is the okay. So just you have to put like this. Okay. Once you put it like this. So I think this I was already putting it. Okay. Let's put it in the below. Right forward. Consider. Scroll to let me put it a bit down so that you. So this is my basic Terraform file. Okay. Let me remove all these things. So this is the way you have to put the region. Okay. So this will make your default region. Now let's run the Terraform in. Okay, I think what is happening. So it's showing that this way it cannot be there. Some configuration change. Let's see. Oh, this is cousin first syntax again. So let's see like what how they have used. Okay, I think I'm missing this. So if you see this small signs, if we are missing it, how it is showing the error. So that's why indentation is much important here. Okay. So now it is initializing the plugins. So one file will be created here, terraform.log.html. So one of the interview, it has been asked like, what is terraform.log.html contains? Okay. So at that time, I was just going through the Terraform and I was able to make everything. So I thought like, this is not much an important file. I did not pay it. So once it got created, I will just show you like what it shows. So that's why you should take some time to initialize the plugins. Okay. So this is the format of the provider that in organization also you are using. You can directly use the provider block from here itself, but the thing is like you have to log the version, okay, of these things. Okay. So that's the thing that in organization. So if you see there is a file got created .terraform.html. So what it used to do, it used to lock your version. Okay, whatever the version. So suppose I have given the constraints as this sign and 6.0. Okay, so it has taken the 6.7. I think that this is the latest version it has taken. And how it will lock the file, like because it has created some hashes, if you see. Okay, now what is the importance of hash file? Okay, suppose if you have run a script, okay, and it has created some hash file, okay, and or hash number, hash file mostly it used to get created. And if you change something in the script, a small change, a full stop you have changed, so how will you determine that something has changed? So your hash value used to get changed. Okay, so that's the beauty of it, that it can lock your version. Okay, if you have to remove this, if you have to change this version, you have to go ahead and again you have to initialize it, terraform in it. Okay, otherwise if you just go ahead to terraform other commands, it will just take this version whatever you are having. Okay. So that's the importance of log file. So now I will just run terraform plan. If you see .terraform has also been created. Okay, so I'll just show you like what is the importance of .terraform. Okay, now let's go ahead and check like terraform plan what it's doing. Okay. So first of all, as I told you, see the last statement, 1 to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. So with that you are able to determine that it is trying to add one thing. Okay, some resource is trying to add, and since you have used EC2, you can determine that it is EC2. And if you see the additional parameters that Terraform is giving, AMI you have given, okay. But if you see known after apply, so ARN, Terraform will provide by itself. Availability zone, it will select by itself. Okay. So all these things, and if you see the instance type, this I have hard coded it. Okay. So this we'll see later, like how it will look like. If we go to terraform.provider, okay. If you right now go to terraform.provider, if you go to terraform provider, okay, mostly it's a binary format. Okay, so what's this terraform files used to contain dot terraform files. So in one of the my last to last company, I was facing one issue that I have some modules. What are modules, I'll let you know in the upcoming sessions. What are the modules? So modules are like, suppose you are writing terraform in ec2, right? ec2.tf, but you have, suppose you have hundreds of .tf files. Okay, so you will not hundreds of .tf files. You'll create modules and will refer each and everything in the one TF file. Okay. So I'll show you later. So I have created some modules. Okay. And that thrown some issues. So what I have to do, I have to again go ahead and create it. Okay. So I was trying to do again, I have to create the Terraform plan again. Okay. So what every time, even if I have changed the things, even I have deleted some temporary files. Okay, it was again showing that your file is already up to date. You cannot create it. Your infrastructure is up to date. Okay. So I was not able to understand like from where it is trying to fetch the file. I have deleted the state file as well. I have deleted everything. I was trying to create newly. Why it is not able to create the file? Then I got a hidden file called .terraform. Okay. And in the .terraform, all your module configurations used to get stored. And Terraform was every time whenever you are doing the apply and or the plan, it will go ahead, it's going ahead with terraform and trying to see like it's already created, so I'll not create again. So what I did, I just deleted this terraform file. Okay, and you can delete it. Okay, and I again tried to create the terraform plan. Okay, so that's the beauty of you mean to say that So this is one of the interview questions, like dot terraform file, if it is there, will be what what is the one big thing that you have resolved in your organization. So that's what I told, like dot terraform, that that day I was able to invent. There is a certain thing called dot terraform where all your module configurations are present. Okay, so if I do again the terraform plan, okay, it'll require plugins are not installed terraform. Okay, I think it's again trying to run the terraform init. So why I have to run terraform init again? Why? Uh, because Terraform init I have already run. Again, why I have to initialize the plugin? Okay. So that's the beauty. You will be able to understand in .terraform there was a folder got created called slash providers. Okay. And the slash provider I have deleted the .terraform. So that's why I am when I am trying to run the Terraform plan, it's saying that required plugins are not installed because you have not initiated the plugins. And where this initiation got stored, that's in the .terraform. Where your modules get stored, that's in the .terraform. So that is one thing. That is one of the use cases of the .terraform. Okay. So you'll be able to see if you see the .terraform, a provider is created. Okay. So I'm not opening the provider. Mostly it's in binary format. Okay. So if you just go ahead Terraform provider. So I'm not opening because it's either binary. So if I delete again this .terraform, again I have to initialize. Otherwise I don't have to initialize. Okay. Terraform. And if you see, once I do the Terraform plan, it has created one state file and it has also removed the state file because I have not Terraform applied yet. Until unless you will apply, your .state file will not get created. Okay. So uh, Terraform apply I will do. Okay. Now if I just to apply, it will just give a prompt. Okay. Whether you want to create it or not. Okay. So I have to click on yes. Okay. So suppose you are running the state in a pipeline. Okay. Uh, there if it gives the prompt of yes, so you will not be able to type yes in the pipeline if it is automated, right? So you have to just create it without this prompt. Okay, so the command for that is without the prompt terraform apply hyphen auto hyphen approve. So if you just give this command, so terraform is a play of commands also. Okay, so commands used to play a basic role here. So just if you give this, it will not ask for prompt. So I have already created the Terraform. If you see, one resource has been created. Okay. And if you go to launch and if you go to instances, your one resource, you can see it. Okay. So let me, so if you see, without the name, it's got created. Okay. So if you see, I have given some names here. Okay. Demo EC2. But it has not created demo EC2 name because this is a logical name. This only you have to refer in your Terraform files only. Only Terraform files will recognize this, not your infrastructure. If you have to give infrastructure, you have to put something called tags equal to name, sorry, demo, anything. This name can be, so this name can differ. Okay, this name, you can put it like test EC2. Okay. So if I just go ahead and Terraform apply it, it will again ask for prompt. So better I will show the automated stage. So this time, so if you see, one to change this time, because we are not creating the EC2 again, we are just changing one parameter there. Okay. So I'll not, okay, let's put yes. So it's just modifying. Okay, one changed. So now if you will see, if I just go ahead, so it has created a test EC2. Okay. So that's the bit. Now I'll just go back to the Terraform TF state. Okay. So TF state is a very beautiful file. Okay. So this is the file that is one of the things that you should go ahead and read it. because this contains many of your parameters. Okay, so the most parameter is that Terraform version you will be able to see, and what provider you're using, that you'll be able to see. AMI, you have given it hard coded it, that's fine. But if you see the ARN of the EC2, it's any public IP is there or not, it will show you. Availability zone, it has taken as 1B. Okay. And then CPU options are not much important. These are not much important. So if you see I'll share about the metadata, what is metadata and all. Okay, so this is one of the thing in AWS EC2, although it's not a part of Terraform, but I'll show you. And if you'll be able to see that this important parts, private IP, it's auto-populating here. So you can just go ahead and take it from the public IP, it's auto-populating, public DNS is showing. So these are the things which you are not giving, but still it's giving a very broad kind of files. Okay, so this is the basics of Terraform. Okay. Uh, I think it's 11:49 already. Okay, I'll resource one more. I will just create one more thing that in AWS EC2 there is certain thing called security groups. Okay, until unless your security groups. So if you see, can I create an instance without a security group? So this is a perfect example that I have not given a security group got created. Okay, so if I create one security group is like the firewall. Okay, so if you see security group, it came. And you can just write this logical name. Now, what is the importance of logical name? I'll just show you. Okay, name, sorry, name, right? I'll just write the same name and description. Description, you can just write the same testing, or you can write description should be a bit good thing for testing purpose. And then, okay, so there's certain thing called ingress. So ingress is what? Ingress is nothing but your, I think this way you can give it. This is your what ports you want to open. Okay, so security groups what you use to open the ports, right? Supposed to log into EC2, we want 22 port. Okay, and so these are the two mandatory parameters that you have to give from port and to port. These are actually the same. It should be the same value. Why it is there? That's the convention. You can just write why we are doing this. And the next thing what you can put is the protocol. Protocol is mostly you can put it as TCP. Okay, and from where, what is your uh, source? Like, so I'm putting as full internet. Okay, you can put your own IP. Okay. And one block I will put as the egress. Egress is the outbound traffic. Okay, so uh, this from port mostly you can put as 0, and so all traffic should be opened here. Okay, protocol TCP. Now, if I just go ahead and do Terraform apply again, now I'll not to Terraform apply only. I'll just go ahead and we'll put auto approve. Right. So if you see, what's the beauty, right? It's saying that 1 to add, 0 to change. Okay, because I am running it again and it's not creating this EC2. Why it's not creating this EC2 again? Because your state file contains your EC2 configuration. If I delete this state file, you'll be able to see again that it's trying to create it. You can try from your own. Okay. And what this Terraform the state.backup, the name itself says that suppose your terraform.tfstate got deleted, you can take it from the backup. That's the thing. Nothing much. So one security group got created. So let's see. Okay. So I think the name I have not given it. So description test. So security group name is this. And if you just open it, Okay, I think the outbound rules didn't get created, but the inbound rules, if you see that TCP is there. Okay, SSH. So this is the
That outbound rules, right? From
yeah,
one
yeah.
to you mentioned, right? You mentioned zero. It
Yes,
should
I
be
don't think it should be
something zero
zero.
dot zero
Okay,
some.
yeah, it has to be something else. Okay, I think it's from port. Let's see. Mostly the outbound routes used to create by default. I thought to show this. Hmm, That's one second. That's a very hmm, Terraform. So Terraform registry, if you will be able to see this everything. Okay. So egress is from port. So mostly I think I have done one mistake. Here is the protocol. I have to put as -1. Okay. So that signifies that all protocols are allowed. Okay. And also this, sorry, also this cider blocks. Okay. From everywhere it's allowed. This set put it.
What that protocol -1 mean?
Yeah, so -1 it means like all protocols are allowed. It's not like only TCP protocols.
Oh,
SSH
okay.
protocols are allowed, HTTP protocols are allowed,
Okay.
ICMP protocols are allowed, NFS is allowed. Everything is allowed in outbound. And that should be the case actually. That's the beauty of security group. You have to just change in one sector, that is the ingress rules. Output rules is by default. Okay. But it's not in the case of NSCLs. So if you see one change, one to change. So let's see. Sorry, where is our console? Here only. Okay. So now if we go ahead and just check it. So if you see all traffic is all out now. Okay. So that's the beauty. And so these are the things which is most important. And if you see the Terraform state file, right? Terraform state file has the security group. There is one more block which is called the security group. If you see type is, so that's the beauty, okay, of this thing. So what one thing is important, right? What is the importance of this EC2 and SGs, and what is the importance of this logical names which I'm giving in the Terraform? Okay, so if you see this logical name, okay, this demo EC2 and all. So suppose you want to attach a security group, okay, and now I'm putting this. Let's keep the security group. Let's delete the state file also, and let's destroy the everything. Okay. First, Terraform destroy. Okay. So let's destroy it. Okay. So let it get destroyed. Now I'll just make you understand like what is the thing that is important. Okay. What is the use of this logical group? Suppose your EC2 got created. I want to attach this EC2 in this instance. How will I attach this? Okay, that is one thing. And I want that this EC2 will be created once this security got created. Otherwise, until unless this security group got created, this EC2 should not be created. Okay. So first thing for the security group. So let me put this security groups. Okay. And so if you see this is a list actually, it shows that okay set of string. So what I have to put here? Okay. So one thing which you can put here, you can go ahead in the console, get the ID, and you can put it here. Okay. Or else we can just put AWS security group. Okay. If you just put like this, AWS security group dot test SG, it's coming directly. Okay. If you see, and we can just put so many attributes used to come. Okay. So I want to put the ID. Okay. So it will take the ID. Now I want this EC2 to be created only once this security got created. Interdependency. Okay. So there is something called a depends block. Okay, depends on. So I want to get it depends on the .sg. Okay, because until unless this this SG got created, this EC2 should not get created. So that's the beauty of the depends on block. And if you see, I'm giving this logical name here. I'm giving this logical name here, not the actual name. So that's the beauty of this logical name. Why I'm putting this logical name? Because this logical name will help you to get referred this resource in other blocks. Okay. So if I just go ahead, I'm not creating. You can go ahead and check plan. Okay, but I'm not. I'm just creating this apply directly. Okay, I'm putting auto approve because I don't want any prompts. So prompts to be created. Okay, two to add. Okay. Okay, so if you see here, what's the operating HTTP response and creating for invalid parameter group for parameter group ID is invalid. This value cannot be empty. What value cannot be empty? So there are some. These are the errors that it will come. It will try to resolve it. Okay. So if you see the security group got created already. Okay. The security group got created, and it's not showing the full logs. SG security groups invalid parameters. What's this? Once again, there's some values out there which I'm not able to see. Let's see here. Okay, the value parameter group ID should not be present. I think it should be the name, something like security group. This with PC security group IDs, I think you have to put it, and this can be the. This will give you the more. So sometimes these errors used to come, okay, which is new errors. Okay. So if you see now, the plan is to add because security group already got created for us. Okay. So even if my block, if you see, is resource AWS instance block is at the first. Okay. It should create sequentially, but it has not created sequentially. Why? Because I have put a depends on. That's why it went ahead and put the security group first. Okay. So if you don't put depends on, it will go ahead sequentially. But if you put a depends on, even if your resources are the last, and if you put a depends on that last resource, so that resource it will create first. Okay. So that's the error, like security group, it should not be there. Okay. And I think the security groups you have to put the name rather than the ID. But if you have to put the ID, just go ahead and if you see PC security group IDs, this should be the actual parameter. So parameters are much important. You can face issues if you put the parameter wrong. Okay, even if your concept is right, but if your parameter, if your indentation is thing, so if you just go ahead, sorry, I think it again got created. So this is terminated as a terminator, but it will. So this EC2 got terminated, and this is the actual EC2. So if you go to security, your security group got attached. Okay, so same security group, it got attached, and all traffic. So we'll keep up to this, Sarvanan. Okay, uh, we'll uh, we'll
Sure.
start a bit more hours. Okay. since we have to complete in less days. Okay. So let's start for 1.5 hours or so from next session.
Sure.
But this is the first session. Lots of things are there. Just wanted to go ahead with the basics a bit so that you will be able to catch up. Okay. And let me